Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Kill Count. Today I will be looking at Kick-Ass 2, released in 2013. Kick-Ass 2 is about Dave struggling with being a hero. He ends up joining this hero group. Meanwhile, Chris is going on his villain journey, trying to kill Kick-Ass, and Midney's also struggling because she wants to do hit girl shit. But enough talking, let's get to those kills. Of course, she still does it, and we cut to a title card. Mindy's caretaker Marcus drops her off at school, but really she just leaves that hoe to go train. Meanwhile, Dave just says he's bored, and sees on the news that there's more superheroes.
Bub, can't you knock?
The next day, he goes to see Midney, and he comes with her. He talks about getting back out there, and asks if she can train him. She's like, fuck yeah, and asks Dave to blast her. Then they just start fighting all wick, but Dave loses pretty quickly. After this, they make it a daily routine.
Station is over.
Great, then I'm leaving.
So he tries to get pissed at his mum again, and it cuts to Mindy walking back home, and Marcus confronts her about ditching school. She tries making up some bullshit lie that somehow Marcus believes. It cuts back to Chris, and they start getting rid of the mum's shit, and Hoveresh shows him her guns. Then he starts spazzing out. After that, he runs back to Javier and talks about building a team. It cuts back to Mindy. She gets ready to go hang out with some chicks. It cuts back to Dave, and the DOC lets him in. He brings him to meet the whole team. Then Mindy arrives at the bitch's house, and she meets the other girls. This whole part is just cringe. They show her this fucking gay-ass music video. It cuts back to the heroes, and they get to know each other. Then his dude named Battle Guy starts talking. Then he says they need more people. Meanwhile, the bitches take Mindy to this preform thing. Then they start the contest. They end up calling Mindy to go next, so she goes up there and starts pretending that she's fighting. Everyone loves it for some reason, making that chick jealous. Later that night, the heroes start training, and Dave gets a little freaky. After that, he tries talking to Mindy, and yet again asks her to be hit girl. She gets mad and asks some random guy out, then leaves. Dave goes back home, and his dad gets suspicious, so Dave just chills with Marty. Then the gang pulls up, and they get ready for this shit, so the colonel tells them the plan. Then he goes up to knock. This fucker answers the door, so Colonel fucking kicks his ass real quick. Then they all walk up in that bitch and just start beating all their asses. I really can't tell if they kill anyone. They get to the one they want to talk to, and Colonel's dog bites his balls. He ends up telling them where the girls are, and they give them a bunch of money. Mission success, boys. Then Chris finds out about this and says he needs a crew. So Javier tells him about some recruits. The first guy kills these people. Then this man chick fucking eats her cellmate, but they just make fun of his goofy ass, so he just leaves pissed off. Meanwhile, Mindy about to go on a date. For some weird ass reason, they go deep in the woods. She gets really weirded the fuck out. Then she hears something and tries to do her hero shit, but it's just those goofy chicks, and her fake ass date is a part of this. They just fucking leave her ass. She ends up sneaking into Dave's room, and she starts crying and shit. After this, she decides to get some revenge and makes these fuckers throw up and shit. After that, Dave goes back home, and his dad fucking found his suit, so they just get pissed off at each other, and Dave just leaves. Back to Chris. He goes to visit his uncle. His uncle tells him to chill the fuck out, but Chris thinks he's ready, so they call up Javier, who's right outside. Stabs the poor Jim Carrey, then snaps his neck. After that, Mindy sees this on the news and tells Marcus she needs to help. He gets mad and tells to go to her room. Back to the gang, and they all sad about what happened. Then they notice Night Bitch is gone. Turns out the villain's on their way. They break into her crib and chase her upstairs. They end up getting to her and just beat her up real quick. Meanwhile, the cops are pulling up, and Russia blows them up, then just shoots the other cops, and even more cops show up. She kills the first ones and sets a lawnmower on for the next cops, then wipes out even more cops, bro. Finally, it's done. Back to Marcus. The captain goes to say what's up to Mindy, but they get interrupted by these fuckers, and they kill some cops in the process, also kidnapping Dave, and drive off. This guy tells him to put on the suit, but Mindy fucking shoots his ass, then starts killing all of them. and gets to Chimmer. She threatens him if he don't spill where Chris is, but Dave's still shocked. Then Mindy calls Marcus to tell him what she's doing, and they call their gang. Mindy give Dave that wicked ass syringe, but Dave don't want that shit. Meanwhile, Chris is over here celebrating. He starts giving out a whole ass speak until Kick-Ass interrupts him, and they bring in their gang. Gonna go down. They start having this big ass war where I see like one death here, and Hit Girl starts fighting Mother Russia. Then Dr. Gravity fucking kills this guy. Todd also saves Marty from someone. Dave chases Chris up these stairs, but Chris runs to the roof. Meanwhile, Mindy's getting beat, bro, and Chris knocks down Dave when he gets up there. These two are both getting beat right now. Then Mindy uses the syringe, but it just makes her get hit the fuck up. Then Dave starts beating Chris's ass, and Mindy's stabbing up Russia so much that she dies. Dave knocks back Chris and the glass breaks, but Dave tries to save him. Chris doesn't want to be saved though. I counted 29 deaths in this movie, 27 guys and 2 girls.